Stephen R. Covey wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which has been read by more than 30 million people. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 2 of the ideas from that book that I think are the most important. If you understand these 2 ideas, you're going to become a far more effective person. You're going to be a far more confident person. You're going to like yourself more, and you're going to achieve a lot more. If you apply the 2 principles alone in this video, which I'm going to share with you in like 5 minutes, you could accomplish almost any goal you want. You could become a millionaire. You could become a successful author. You could become ultimately a better person. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to share with you a few images. The first is the idea of the personal bank account. So we all have a personal bank account, just like we all have a regular bank account. Your personal bank account is the amount of character you have, the amount of trust you have. So every time you keep a promise to yourself, you have just made a deposit to your personal bank account. Some people are very broke in their personal bank account. And in fact, a lot of people are very in debt in their personal bank account. Every time you break a promise to yourself or to someone else, you have just made a withdrawal from your personal bank account. And a lot of people have withdrawn to the point where they don't trust themselves at all. And if you don't trust yourself at all, guess what that means about your future self? It means your future self is not in a good spot. The more you make deposits to your personal bank account, the more you trust yourself, the more confident you have, and the more confident you are, the bigger your future self is. So every time you do what you said you would do, every time you wake up in the morning and put first things first, every time you do something good, honestly, every time you improve yourself, every time you spend 5 minutes better than you did, rather than wasting those 5 minutes, you actually use those 5 minutes. Every time you invest in your future self, every time you make a good decision, you're making with deposits to your personal bank account, which increases your character, increases your integrity, increases who you think you are. And that ultimately expands your view of your future self. And as you expand your view of your future self, you begin to like yourself more. You begin to love yourself more. As you make withdrawals from your personal bank account, meaning you break a promise, you waste your time, you make stupid decisions, your future self gets smaller. Think about it. Every time you make a bad decision, it not only affects your current self, it affects your future self. And if your future self gets smaller and smaller because you keep making withdrawals and you don't have confidence and integrity and you don't trust yourself and people around you don't trust you and they don't like you, if you have a small future self, then you have a very small self-image and you don't believe in yourself and you don't have big goals and you can't trust yourself. And so ultimately you distract yourself, you waste your time, you waste your energy. So your personal bank account really matters. Your personal bank account is essentially your identity, your character, your confidence. Again, in psychology, we call that identity capital. When you wake up first thing in the morning and you put first things first, you accomplish your morning goals, you visualize your future, you go to the gym, stuff like that. Then you've just made some great deposits to your personal bank account and you've set yourself up to have a better future, but you also believe in your future more. And so ultimately you want to make as many deposits to your personal bank account as you can, and that expands your view of your future self. And by the way, you can make deposits to your personal bank account while also at the same time making deposits financially to other bank accounts. For example, when you invest money into, let's just say, actual investing money, if you're actually investing money into your future, not only does your physical bank account grow, and therefore your future self becomes more wealthy, but your personal bank account grows. So you can actually make deposits to different bank accounts at the same time. You can actually serve a friend, gain a mentor, serve your mentor, help other people. And that creates an amazing relationship, but it also increases your confidence. It increases your ability. And so you want to not only plant seeds that grow, but you want to grow. And so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Do small acts of kindness. Keep to yourself. So there's a really great book, actually, Steal Like an Artist. Steal Like an Artist. I wish I had it. It's in the other room. But Steal Like an Artist is a great book about creativity. And one of the things that it talks about in that book is that the more you give away, the more creative you become. It's just like love. The more you love other people, the more capacity you have for love. The reason some people are not creative is because they hoard their ideas. If you hoard and keep your ideas secret, then you're not going to get more ideas. The way you become more creative is to give. The more you give and share, the more creative you can become. The more kindness you give, the more you can grow. It's that whole parable of the talents. You got to actually use your talents, give, serve, and ultimately then you can have more. The people who hide their talents, the people who, hold on to their ideas, hold on to their kindnesses, are essentially stingy with their kindness and stingy with their service and stingy with their sharing, they're not going to grow. But if you give everything you've got away, you're going to open up your cup and expand it to give more. That's how you increase your personal bank account. Be gentle with yourself. Beat yourself up. I think that this is great. Be gentle with yourself. Dan Sullivan has this beautiful concept called the gap in the gain. It's really easy to get into the gap. The gap is when you're stressed out, you're comparing yourself with where you want to be, and you're feeling all this pressure. Life can be filled with a lot of pressure. Life can stress you out. Deadlines can come, bills can come, unexpected problems can arise, and you can start really feeling that pressure, and you can start beating yourself up for not being where you think you should be. Being gentle with yourself is a beautiful and important thing. Also measuring the gain. Looking at the things that are going well, looking at the hard work and the progress you've made over the last 90 days or the last year, the last 3 years, taking time to reflect on what's going well and being gentle on yourself and appreciating yourself and loving yourself is another way to increase your personal bank account. Beating yourself up, being rude to yourself, being hard to yourself, talking negatively to yourself, of course that's going to destroy your personal bank account. Your personal bank account is your relationship with yourself. And if you have an amazing relationship with yourself, you're going to probably have amazing relationships with other people. And so don't beat yourself up. Be gentle on yourself. Be honest. Obviously, this goes to keeping promises with yourself, but keep promises to other people. Don't just say you're going to do something and then don't do it. Because now not only do you not trust yourself, but other people don't trust you as well. You want to become a person of integrity. You want to become a person that people can trust, because not only then do you trust yourself, but the world trusts you. And if other people trust you, then you're going to have amazing opportunities. Success really isn't that hard. It's about actually showing up. One of my favorite quotes is that 80% of life is just showing up. Most people just don't even do that. Most people can't keep their promises to themselves. They hit the snooze button. Think about it. If you hit the snooze button, that means that you're breaking a promise to yourself. The fact that you set the alarm the night before means that you actually wanted to do something, but instead you're not doing it. So every time you break a promise to yourself or to someone else, every time you just don't show up, you've missed amazing opportunities. Just showing up and just being where you said you were going to be and just doing what you said you were going to do is often enough to become very successful. And ultimately, then you gain more and more confidence and trust. You gain more amazing relationships. There's amazing relationships out there that are available if you're willing to just show up and just do what you said you would do. Renew yourself is all about recovery. Renewing yourself is key. Taking time to rest and recover, taking breaks off. There's a lot of research on the need for recovery, sleep, keeping your body healthy, recovering, taking breaks, taking vacations. That stuff is so beautiful, but it also allows you more flow in your life, more optimal success, high performance. You need a lot of recovery in order to, essentially be the best person you can be. Dan Sullivan, again, the founder of Strategic Coach, he has all of his entrepreneurs who are all very successful. The goal is to take 150 days off so that you can renew yourself, recover. Because if you're renewed and recovered, then you're going to put way better energy and effort into your work. There's a great TED Talk on this subject, by the way. It's called, I think, The Benefits of Taking Time Off. But the whole TED Talk is by this amazing artist. And every year he takes a full year. Every 7 years he takes a full year off. And during that year of renewal, he travels the world and things like that. But he says that during that year, he gets not only so renewed and so just alive and so that he can put amazing energy into his work, he also gets insane inspiration. And there's a lot of research that shows that only 16% of creative ideas happen while you're at work. If you're renewing yourself, if you're recovering, if you're having good experiences, if you're actually building an amazing life outside your work, you're going to have so much more to give to your work. As the saying goes, if you've got 5 hours to chop down a tree, you should spend the first 4 hours sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw, sharpening the blade is about renewing yourself, about recovering. And also there's a quote that basically says, if you spend all your time working at your job, you can make a living. But if you spend your time working on yourself, you can make a fortune. That was Jim Rohn. So if you take time renewing yourself, refreshing, recovering, having experiences, but also learning, reading, upgrading yourself outside your work, then you can have way more skills, knowledge, and energy to put towards your work, which makes your work way more effective. All right, this is the last one on personal bank account. Tap into your talents. Whereas people, you withdraw by neglecting your talents. We all have skills. We all have abilities. You can actually choose the talents you have, but you also have skills and abilities that if you're not using, then you're probably just always just working on things that you're not good at. As you improve your skills and then use your skills to contribute and help other people, of course your bank account's going to grow because your skills are going to go off the charts. That's how you invest in yourself. That's how you invest in other people. That's how you grow yourself. Is you develop those skills and you use them, and then your skills become amazing. You become world-class at what you do. There's a book on the subject called Be So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. And basically he said, most people are looking for their passion. Most people are trying to find their passion. Passion and talent are two different things. A lot of people think that they're the same thing. You got to find your passion, which is where your innate talents are. That's not how it works. Rather than trying to look for your passion, which is all about you want to look for developing rare and valuable skills. What's valuable in the market or what's valuable towards your future? Develop those skills and then passion will follow. So you can have that ability. So that's concept number one. Now I'm going to share concept number two, and I'm going to go a lot quicker on this one. This is the idea of how you spend your time, big jar and small jar. So if you put the big rocks in first, you can put big rocks into the jar and then you can pour the small pebbles in and the pebbles fit around the big ones. But if you put the small pebbles in first, you can't fit the big rocks in because these take up too much space. So the idea is simple. You got to put the big rocks in first. You got to put first things first. We actually teach this to our kids who are being homeschooled. But you got to do the hard things first. That's actually why this book is called Eat the Frog. Eat the Frog is all about doing the hardest thing first, putting the big rocks in first in your day, in your week, in your year, in your life. What are the big rocks that you're trying to accomplish? If you put the big rocks in, then the little rocks can fit around that. And also you can remove a lot of the little rocks that really don't matter. But if you're just spending your time on little rocks, then you're filling your time and you can't fit the big rocks in. And so you got to put first things first. You got to eat the frog. Eating the frog means you're doing the worst first. You're actually doing what you need to do. And if you're putting first things first, if you're putting the big rocks in first, then you'll have all the time in the world for the small rocks because you already put the big foundations in place. Those are two of my favorite concepts from Think and Grow Rich: having a personal bank account and putting first things first. Put the big rocks in first and you'll have plenty of time for the small rocks. But if you're only dealing with small rocks, you won't have time for the big rocks. They won't fit in. There's another great quote that goes with this, and it's the idea that you're too busy picking up bronze pieces, and all the while you're passing gold pieces all around you. The gold pieces are those things that are important. They're the big rocks. But what you focus on expands. And if you've got a small mindset, then you're looking for bronze pieces and there's gold all around you and you're not putting it first. It's up to you. My name is Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Down below is free access to my 30-day Future Self course. Have an amazing day.